Hi and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Furk, aka Phil, and today I want to share with you my latest camera purchase and why I keep getting fascinated about the brand of Leica. And that's because of this new purchase. This is the OG Leica M3, and this is the first Leica camera which has the M mount. And I was lucky enough to purchase this on a private sale here in my region, and this specific one was inherited by one guy, and he basically sold it because he has no use for photography. He told me that he's more of a watch collector, and that's more the hobby he's into, like his father. His father had two hobbies. One was the main enthusiasm was photography. The second one was also collecting watches, and that's the reason why his son decided to sell off the camera collection of his father after inheriting it in 2020. So the person who originally got this died in 2020, and I think due to natural cause. And I just wanted to share with you basically a little bit of history of this specific camera, and that's the reason why the brand Leica somehow keep fascinating me, specifically the M cameras. Because unlike the M3 cameras you can see online on eBay or all the resellers, I know that this camera only had one owner. So he bought it back then in the 50s and used it until he died basically. His son told me that his father was also a Leica camera collector. He I think it was about 20 Leica cameras. Most of them were Leica M cameras, and he said that his father, although he had all the newer ones, he was keeping shooting with this one. And if you look at the internet and YouTube, you can see that there's a lot of videos and praises for the Leica M3. And after having this camera in my hands, I now understand what people are saying, especially when you are looking into film photography. And holding this camera in the hands, man, this is build quality. You could almost say that this is the best build quality Leica had ever had, although the latest cameras are also high build quality. This is truly some piece of art which keeps lasting. That's at least my first impression. Just have to check regarding the dates, because the Leica M3 was produced in 1954 for the first time until 1966. I already mentioned this camera was released in the 50s, and this specific one, you can see this based on the serial number. This specific one was in the first batch of production. I'm not sure how many was produced in the first years. But yeah, I will blend you the first batch of serial numbers here, and you can see that this one was one of the first. Also, being at one of the first M3s, you have this model is a double stroke model. Basically, you have to rewind the lever twice to get the film advanced. Later models, you only have to rewind the lever once as normal film cameras, but the first batches had the double stroke cameras. The reason why I decided to get this one is, first of all, I'm currently somehow on a Leica collection trip, so I guess. I'm also currently looking at my camera collection and getting rid of some cameras, so making room for new ones, so to say. And when I saw this announcement online, I chatted with that guy, and basically we exchanged histories regarding cameras, etc. And then I wanted to have a look at this, and in the end the condition of this camera is so great that I decided to pull the trigger regarding the purchase. Right now I already have a first film of HP5 in. That's the reason why I can't show you how to rewind the lever although for you guys I will waste a frame, so to say. That's the click, and now double stroking it. And that's how you advance the film to shoot again. Something I would like to add is that when I was going to pick up the Leica M3, I realized that talking to that guy, I realized that it was important to him that this camera gets into good hands, so to say. And that somehow it was also important for me to make sure that he understands that I'm not buying this camera just to resell it. Tried to show him my enthusiasm for photography and the reasons why I'm buying this camera, as I already mentioned. And since I also had the feeling that he was thinking about his father a lot, about the time when he was alive and pursuing his hobbies. That's also why I put a film roll into my bag, HP5400, and I had the idea to put a first roll of film in, not only to test this on the Leica M3, but also to shoot the first picture of him. So basically that the camera of his father will continue to shoot even after his time. And as I mentioned, somehow it was important for me to take the first frame of him and with the camera of his father. And as soon as I have this film developed, I will also send it to him by mail. When I told him that, he lightened up and he told me that this idea is amazing, and he was thrilled to see the picture. I hope I didn't mess the focus and the exposure up, but yeah, we will see when I develop the film. What also caught my interest was that this package was including some paperwork, which I think is nowadays almost obsolete. So basically you have here the brochures. I will also cut some B-roll on that, about the original M3, and all this stuff is basically history from the M3 back in the days in the 50s and 60s. Also here is an old book, manual book of the M3, and which also intrigued me was the original box of the M3, where it was basically sitting in. And all this stuff was included. The person who used this camera also mostly used it in this bag, which I personally won't use. But that's also the reason why the leather of this camera is so nice. Normally it's quite run down, and most cameras need to get the leather renewed. But according to his son, this camera has only service technically, but conditions was always great. So looking at the time frame, it's quite extraordinary that this camera, it's over 60 years old, and it has been used until the death of the owner. And as I said, it's very fascinating to me that a tool can last that long and provide such a great history. His son also told me that his father, as I already mentioned, was not only a photographer enthusiast, but even after his retirement, he made use of his gear. He made photo projects for local banks, festivals, shared his images, and all these stories really inspired me to shoot more and also find some ways to share my photography, which is currently just streets of daily life, but nonetheless just enjoying photography, I guess. And these kinds of stories and lasting of decades, I think that's unique for Leica. That's also how they are able to market themselves. Until today, it has been raised to a luxury brand, which I can also understand, because digital rangefinders currently almost exclusively for only made by Leica, with the exception of Pixie, which has been recently announced. But the history is still something that is unique for Leica, especially for the analog cameras. If you take a digital camera nowadays, it's hard to think that these things will work in 20-30 years without problem. Even Leica cameras like the M11, for example, which have currently often software freezes or something like that. If you look at the current old digital cameras, for some models you are missing, you have to dig for memory cards like the memory stick, which was from Sony back then, which are not sold broadly today. Something like film cameras can live forever if the film supply continues. That's the only bottleneck, I guess. As long film is available, film photography will stay alive, and also these kinds of cameras can be used. And that's also the reason why I got this one. I saw a lot of videos on the Leica M3. It intrigued me. This camera is mainly has only frame lines for 50, 90 millimeters and 135. These three frame lines is also the reason why it's called the M3. And since I'm a 30 millimeter shooter kind of guy, I like that focal length. I can't wait to fill up the first roll with this camera, see what kind of results I get. To be honest, although this camera is in great condition, it's not without flaws. I saw that the viewfinder had some haze in it, and I already saw some videos that the viewfinder might need some cleaning. That's not unusual for cameras at this age. Removing the top plate is quite usual. It's quite common. So I will get this service at some point, I guess, but first I want to get the first roll out. And the build quality is just amazing, and you can see where all other camera brands get their inspiration regarding their design. Just wait a sec, because here you have the X100VI from Fujifilm, a camera which was released this year, and since it's been launched with the X101, it's basically an inspiration with these rangefinder cameras. And Leica's one of the first who drove that kind of design until today. So having a piece of history in my hand, and also not for decoration or collection, but also using it, I'm thrilled to get this on the street, take you guys with me on a POV session and just shoot a piece of history which is 60 years old, much older than I am, but still works like the charm. Excited for that. The other thing, which is just a quick side note, why I'm also why I also like these kind of Leica M cameras, is it came with this little lens, which I will also test out, and this lens was purchased in the 60s, I guess. But here, a 60-year-old camera, and can pair this up with a modern Sumilux Leica lens, and this one is one of the latest Sumilux 50 millimeters, and it just fits, and you can go out and shoot some awesome street photos or photos in general, and that works on this mount, the M mount. This is unique to Leica. Which also fascinates me is that this specific Leica M3 here is a stamp on the papers. It was originally purchased around 20 or 30 minutes away from my town. So yeah, just fascinating, these kinds of history of a piece of gear, you can say. And these kinds of stories and history I can't imagine for other camera brands, or even digital cameras in general. Yeah, that's the quick story I wanted to share with you with my new purchase, the original Leica M3. I got this this week, and as I already mentioned, I will do a POV session in the next few days, weeks, as soon the weather gets better, and excited to shoot with this one. If you're still here until this point watching, I thank you very much for your time. You are the one who deserves the like for that. And if you want to support my small little channel, you can check the affiliate links below in the description, or buy me a coffee, link also in the description. And yeah, if you want to see more videos on my channel, just click on one of these ones, which YouTube suggests to you, and have a nice day.